Spider Jones met Ali in 1966 when the three-time heavyweight champion came to Toronto to fight Canadian boxer George Chuvalo. They did sparring sessions and daily training runs and became fast friends. Three-time Golden Glove champion and broadcaster Spider Jones joins me on set now to share some of his memories of the legendary boxer Muhammad Ali. So, as we say, you got to meet him in 1966, a completely different time. You know, he's already a huge name in the world. What was that like the first time you met him?
A little overwhelming at first. I was living at the gym in Toronto, 109 Ossington, because I had just gotten out of prison, serving some time for shaking down some people and getting in trouble. And when I got out of Millbrook, I had no place to live, and George Chuvalo set it up that I could stay at Sully's gym. And so Ali came there in 1966 to fight my dear friend, George Chuvalo. And that's how we first met. And we became good friends. He was easy to like, and he liked people. Mm-hmm. And so it wasn't hard to like him, but it was overwhelming because he was already the most known person on the planet, the most famous. Plus, he was a hero of mine. Not that much older, but still somebody that I really looked up to.
And you continue to look up to him for much of your life. I believe we have a couple of pictures of the two of you together, if we can pull those up. Describe to me what's happening in this moment. How was the interaction like with him?
He's threatening me here.
Oh, okay.
He says, "You still got that radio job?" And I said, "Yeah." And he said, "Because if you don't, I'm going to whoop you. Remember what I told you?" Because back in 1966, he was amazed at that. His favorite song at the time was, it always still his favorite, was "Stand By Me." And I began to sing this song one day, and he says, "Man, you can sing. I love that song." And I said, "I also know your favorite singer is Sam Cooke." And so he was fascinated that I knew so much about music, that I could tell him stories about Benny King and Sam Cooke. And he told me then, many years ago, "Man, I was born to be the heavyweight champion of the world. You were born to be in radio. You got to be the radio. You got to be in radio." And it's sort of, the seed had already been, I'd always wanted to be in radio, but he pushed it. And I said, I don't think I can do it. "Why can't you do it?" I said, "I don't know, man. There ain't many black people in radio back then." And he said, "Well, there's always a first." He said, "When I first went into boxing, people laughed at me." He said, "Man, the only way you're going to do something is if you go after it." So that sort of planted the seed.
And so I think we've got another picture. We can pull that up as well. It sounds very much, Spider, that he was a mentor to you in many ways. He certainly inspired people around the world. What was your reaction to hearing about him passing?
I was pretty much conditioned to accept it because I got a call from LA the day before that. My nephew's down there. My nephew Marcel was down there, and he called me, and he had been talking to some people at a radio station who were friends with some of Ali's family, and they had said that they were all converging upon the hospital because it's more serious than it's thought. And so, but when it happened, it still hit me hard. It hurt you. He was, look, we were friends, but I hadn't seen him in years because of his condition, but it's like losing a family member. Ali was with me from the time I can remember. With most young people today, he was famous, but he was a man of compassion, a man of dignity, a man of courage, and an advocate for justice. You just feel like you're losing somebody. There'll never be another Ali.
Well, talk to me a bit more about that, because, you know, he was an incredible athlete, no doubt, a beautiful-looking person and lots of charm, but there was something that seemed to transcend beyond boundaries, beyond race, beyond religion with this man. You've got people, we were showing images yesterday, in Vietnam, in the Philippines, in India, South Africa, New Zealand, all celebrating that life. So what was that magical quality you think that he had?
Well, he transcended boxing. Not just his charisma, his courage. Ali wasn't just a pretty face and a great fighter. Ali had courage. Ali stood by his convictions. Remember, when he refused to be inducted into the Army, he sacrificed millions of dollars. He sacrificed the greatest years of his career. Look, we never saw Ali fight in his prime, because Ali, 26 to 30, that's a heavyweight's prime. He was exiled. They took his passport away. He didn't fight during those years, and yet he still won the title 2 more times. So, and he also stood up for the little guy. He refused to go to Vietnam and kill people, and in his own country, he wasn't allowed to go in the front door of restaurants after he'd won a gold medal for them. So he stood up for the little guy, and people, you know, at first they hated him. Many people did not like him, but they grew to admire him because he took a stand.
So, on that note, what is it that you think, as the tributes end, when the funeral's finished, what should people remember from his life? What should they take away?
I wish we had more people like him. This is a man, this was a citizen of the world, a man that was so full of love and compassion. He is the essence of courage and leadership. We need people running for president of the United States now that need to take a lesson from this man, because he's a real hero.
Spider Jones, thank you so much for coming in and sharing your memories with us.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Three-time Golden Glove champion and broadcaster, Spider Jones.